Hello YouTube, and welcome in to an interesting episode where I have no idea where this is going to go. We are in a bad spot. There's no water in here. There's no water in there. There's no water anywhere. Well, there's little pockets of water here and there, right? Because, well, I was keeping stuff irrigated while we were running some of the systems here and about and getting all of the things connected with all of our beautiful two-way systems. The problem is we still have 4 days left. We essentially have 2 days worth of water available to us. That's it. So one of two things is going to happen here. We are going to push into the final day, or final, I think they'll be okay for maybe a day and a half without water, or maybe 3 days without water, or we will not. We have a little bit of water over here. Another 163. I think this side has the other 671. So we're going to have to reconnect this to gain access to all that water. We can do a couple things here. We can cut off our losses and send our beavers across the way. Happy Funland. And it'll be Incident 3.0 that we won't talk about ever again. We don't need to talk about Incident 3.0. Or any incident for that matter. You save water. I'm trying to figure out places where I can save water right now. We have coffee that doesn't need water. That'll give us 6 units of water. I've paused all of our engines because those consume water. I have stopped all of the fluid dumps because those consume water. And the only thing left that I really have to do is pull what is left out of there or send our beavers elsewhere. Now, we can pull a little bit of water out of here. That will put us in a bad spot as far as what's going to happen with all of our foodstuffs here. But in all honesty, I could care less. I couldn't care less, sorry. Because we've got plenty of food. But that doesn't do us any good if we're completely out of water. You get what I'm saying here? So what we're going to try to do today is see how this looks like for the next 24 hours in-game, and then we might end up pushing some of our beavers elsewhere. Or we can be very careful with our breeding pods and essentially have to do a reset. It looks like we've got 4 that are ready to pop, or 3 that are ready to pop, and the other bunch aren't ready to go yet. So that's a potential concern for us. But we could press to test a reset on all of our beavers. Or we could do a ridiculous thing and punch into bots, and those can ensure that we have a reset proof beaver population. The problem with the bots, however, is it takes a hot minute to produce the required materials to build said bots. It also takes a lot of material to get the bot part factories up and running. On top of that, it takes 36 hours to produce a singular bot. Now, like I said, we should, in theory, be okay. What I'm going to do, however, just to give us a little bit more water, we're going to come over here. We're going to tear these guys out. We are going to put in a couple deep water pumps, pump out what's left of this water here. I'm contemplating whether or not I should do that over here. I think the answer is Probably yes, honestly. So I think we're going to have to do that. There's not going to be much water available in here either. It's not really going to help us. Well, we won't have access to this water tank, which means that that water is going to be stuck. Yeah. Let me just make sure that there aren't any other builds going right now. I don't need to do that. We'll just hit this button here, hit that button there. That'll be for them to work on. And then what we're going to do is we're going to turn all of these on here and hope that this works. We can pull some of this water out of these various little pondlets that we have scattered about, but I don't think that's really going to save us anything. So we're going to see what happens. We've got 697. We need to rip this out. We need to rip that out. We need to connect this right here. That'll give us another 160 units of water right there. We'll probably come over here and just empty this. Get that a little bit closer to our beaver population. And I guess hope. That's all that we really can do other than, like I said, pulling this water out of here. We'll turn these on, get these prioritized by haulers. This should give us maybe a couple hundred units of water, hopefully. And while that's happening, we're going to come over here and we're going to build up. Because this is where our major issues came into play. Because we didn't have enough water pumpers to pull this water out of here fast enough to take advantage of this system over here while we had a temperate cycle running. Now, the other thing that we need to tackle while this is going on over here is we need to also get more water into this system over here. So that is going to look like one of two things. Come over here, we'll turn this on, and then feed this system over here with that. And then we'll just have bad water hunting out that side, which I think is the easiest solution. So let's go ahead and prep for that so that we have an idea as to how we're going to tackle this. We're pumping out what's little left of the water there. We've got 495, so that's basically a day's worth of water right there. And yeah, that's about all we could do right now, and just monitor the whole situation and hope that we didn't completely foobar this entire run because I did ridiculous things and not pay attention to our water, which is a very rookie mistake. But mistake it is nonetheless, and we will run with it. I am not going to be doing anything ridiculous like filling up our reservoirs with water with the dev mode or anything, because I don't feel like that's a good way to get yourself out of a tricky situation, and I pride myself in my ability to play this game without having to rely on those types of, I don't want to say cheats, but those types of systems. So we're going to keep moving forward under the assumption that everything is going to be all right. We've got 500 units of water left available to us. Still, we've got 2.5 days remaining. So I think it looks like we're going to be in a decent enough position to press forward. Now, our beavers will be a little thirsty for the first couple of days, which is acceptable. It's not the greatest, but it is what it is. We are going to get over here. We are going to get down here. We are going to set up an engine right here. Probably right here, actually. We're probably going to want to actually get out of this line, actually, at some point, because we're going to have to... Well, no, we shouldn't have to feed that during a bad tide. We don't have to feed it during a bad tide. What am I thinking about? We don't want to feed it during a bad tide. We only want to feed it during a tipper cycle. So we're going to get down here and connect all these things up, like such as, we're going to throw this bad Johnny in, this aquifer drill. We're going to flip this around, connect that in right there, get our power connections in like so. And we're going to pull that down, pull that down, pull that across. Now, we need to set up some sort of diversionary system in here. So that's sluice gates right here. And that's probably sluice gates right here as well. And we also need to pause this and have this ripped out. We've got a day left and 117 units of water available to us. A day and a half left. I think what we need to do is prioritize this system though, for now, because we've got, well, they're already almost done, actually. We'll see if we can make it. We'll see if we can make it. We really, really, really messed this up. All right. 78 units. Are they still pulling this out? No, that's all emptied out. Okay. I'm going to pause you, pause you. You guys can go do something else somewhere else. I don't know. It looks so peaceful, yet so concerning. So peaceful, yet so scary. So peaceful, yet there is ominous. It's okay. We're on the last day. Last day. That's all we have left. Okay. This is all dried out. That's fine. Foodstuffs is okay. I'm not concerned about that. I'm not concerned about our lack of bad water because, well, we don't have anything to do with bad water anyway. Extracts full, explosives are fine. Everything else is fine. This is as clean as it's gonna get back here. Don't know why they're dropping planks in from on top there or from down there instead of going about the other way, but we shall see how it all pans out. Got half a day or 0.7 days remaining. 0.7 days remaining. 0.6 days remaining. Don't know if we're going to be able to get up here fast enough. I really would like them to finish this. Is there a faster way up here? Probably. Yeah, there was a faster way up here. There was a faster way up here. Just gonna connect all that right there. Then we could probably just drop this priority-wise. Get all of these in, and let's check to see what's happening with our beavers. Got a few expire to old age. What's going to happen when you have a bunch of your cycles matching up like that? We still have some very thirsty beavers, and they're going to be thirsty beavers for a day. And we need to unpause you, which means unpause. There's no water to turn that on. There's no water to turn that on either. Oh, there is water to turn that on. Okay. Okay. We have enough water to turn that on. Go. Yeah, we need... Is there any water in here at all? None of these have water. Okay, what we're going to have to do, we're just going to have to rip this out. Go away, go away, go away, go away, go away. Water pumper, go! Max priority. Give me the button. Give me the button. Button. Get that built yesterday. Water's flowing. We've got 34.5 hours remaining of water available there. We've got all of those going. Once we have a little bit of water, we can unpause this. There's enough juice in there to keep it going for 1.5 days. We're going to pull this shut so we can pump out as much water as we can there. Okay, we have an unconnected building somewhere. That's fine. That was anticipated. We're pumping water as fast as we can. We're going to get you as much assistance as we can there. And water is moving. Water is filling in. All of these are pumping. All that's going. That's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Just keeping an eye on all of this here just to make sure that we aren't running into any more issues. One thing that I do want to get up and running is we need more storage for water. That is become abundantly clear. So that goes there, this goes here, this goes there. We're going to copy and paste this there, and that'll be something for them to work towards. I need them to focus on ripping that out because I don't want to be running down here during the middle of a bad tide to get all of this up and running for us. Okay, any bad situations? Water is still negative. That's not fun, but we are filling water pools, so that is good. This has been not restocked. We have that prioritized by haulers. That little bit of water is in there. That's all we have captured right now. We need to pump this out as much as we can. We've still got 15.5 days or 15.5 hours remaining on this until we can get some haulers in here to restock that supply. We're pumping water as fast as we can. Our beavers are in a downward spiral as far as water consumption is concerned, so that's not good. We are pumping here, which is helpful. It's very helpful. We're almost to 100 units of water. We've almost got a quarter of a day's worth of water available to our beavers. Keep things moving. They still have yet to... Okay, we've got a little bit of water in here. They've restocked. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. I need you guys to reconnect that and then get up here. That is what we need to be doing. Why haven't you guys touched this and ripped these out? Those blockages need to go. Like yesterday. Have a bunch of beavers without anything to do with their hands. You guys aren't pumping for some reason. Why are you guys not pumping? Probably because of these platforms being in the way. Get that all the way down there. That should... As long as it doesn't give me that weird thing where it pulls me up to the top, we should be fine. Okay, now all of those guys should be pumping. We're at 239 units of water. Things are moving properly over here now, it looks like. We've got 39.5 hours remaining in there. We have still yet to demolish all these blockages. Blockages seem to be quite a hassle at this point in time. All right. Work hours are going up because we need to recapture as much water as beaverly possible. All of this is still on the roll because we've got enough power moving. Industry's fine over here. We honestly don't need to be concerning ourselves with industry. We just need to make sure that we have enough water to keep these engines running. We've got enough of everything else to keep everything else running, and now we could probably start thinking about unpausing all of these. Because we are going to need all of these systems still running. I thought I paused that. Apparently I did not. Okay, let's get that up and running. Get these guys removed. Get you up and running again. And that means we get to think about putting in these foresters again. All right. Great. 1,000 units of water. Enough for 2 days at our current water consumption rate. Awesome. We've got 3 days worth of the drought, or the temperate cycle ahead of us. We need to get up and over this yesterday. That should be what they're focusing on right now. And yeah. I'm realizing that this is a potential issue for us because that's a... can't quite break our way through there. We're going to have to go higher than this. Yep. And that's going to have to go higher, and that needs to go higher too, because that's going to get covered in water, which is not conducive to anything good for our beavers. So that needs to go up here. We need to pull this over, pull this down, pull this over like this. And then we also need to give them a weight up to that. This is quite the trek to get up here. I don't know if this is honestly worth it. But hopefully that little bit of water will be good enough for us. We could blast this down, maybe. Or just, yeah, maybe. Yeah, no. That's not going to work for us. Blast this down and blast our way through. Let's do that. Let's do this, shall we? And then we want this right here. Down one more. And then we want these right here. Don't know if that will actually work, but we shall see. They are almost here. We're on day 4. We've got 2,000 units of water. This is slowly filling in. That's good. That's good. We're in a much better position than we were before. We've got a lot more water storage available to us. We're probably going to want to expand that even more, honestly. So I'm going to do that. We've got the beaver capacity and the builder capacity to expand this just a tad bit more. We're going to rip this out, rip this down, copy these settings across the board here. Probably change this over to water, just because it's right there, and it'll give them something to work on, and we're at 3,000 units of water. I think we're good for now. Ish. Sort of. Not exactly in the best of spots, but we're not in a dire situation right now. We've got 3,000 units of water. That's enough for almost a full 10-day cycle, 10-day drought. We've got a lot of water in here to pull from. Now, the reason why I'm trying to rush up here is I would like to be able to tap into this water, allowing us to fill this reservoir up again much higher than it was before. It's kind of limited in that capacity right now because these two reservoirs aren't filling up these massive, or two aquifers are not filling up this massive reservoir that I've created with all of the explosions I've been throwing around. Now, I don't know if that we're losing a lot to evaporation because of that or not. Either way, I would like to capture as much of this water as really possible. And that being said, I do want to put these sluice gates back in. And this is going to be closed below contamination of 1%. And then we're going to have to put some sluice gates on the other side to do the same. And we also would like to get access up here just in case we need to get over here for some weird reason. Maybe at some point we'll set some sort of system up over here, but for now, this is good enough for what we need it to do. So let's go ahead, get all these staircases up here, put that staircase in right there. That gets us up and around here and into there. Maybe we need to come up here to put in another steam engine or something. I don't know. Either way, we should be fine. We're at 4,000 units of water, so we're good for a 10-day temper or 10-day bad tide or 10-day bad tide and or drought right now. We're doing good. We have a drought. We had a max temperate cycle, so that's good. We've got 3 days to get this all turned on. They are slowly working their way, filling all of this in back here. It is taking them a hot minute to fill all these items up. It doesn't help that they're just builders making these long runs. So that is putting a damper on the whole system, but that's fine. I want to probably plus these guys up, but we're not even maxed out at our current 12,000 unit capacity, which we have another, 5,000, 6,000 units of water capacity right there to be thrown in. Can we finish this in 3 days, and can they finish placing all of these dynamite in the next 3 days? Probably not. We are already working 20 hours a day. I don't foresee that happening. But we do have a better handle on storage capacity and water capacity. So I can't say that we're in a bad spot, per se. Bad water's moving again, so that's cool. Beavers are still happy. We have a few injuries, but you know, that's better than where they were. Traveling distance has gotten a little bit better, you know, because we got all these tubeway stations in. So that's good. You know, we're making progress in a direction. A direction. I wouldn't say in a good direction, but it is in a direction. We have almost 2 units of water. Or, yeah, two units full of water down here. That's good. This is fantastic. This is still running. We've got 2 days remaining to pump out as much water as we can. This is in, so that is good. We need them to actually finish building all these things. Need to block this off so we can have the clean water for what little time we will have available to this. Hopefully we can get this up and running. They haven't placed any of these explosives, and they haven't done anything else. So, probably not even going to be able to take advantage of this aquifer over here. At least during this temperate cycle. All right, we're at 2.1 tiles. That's good. Maybe we'll get to 2.5 tiles of water in here. Maybe more. Hopefully more. That's awesome. We are pumping out a little bit of water in here. You know, we're this little guy, Tezzy, you know, rocking and rolling in the free world, pulling out all the stops, filling this bad Johnny up as much as be really possible. You know, you gotta love it. That's glorious. Fantastic. All right. I think we're doing good. Already at 2.2 tiles. We still have a day and a half left. They've got this on, so that's cool. Awesome. Maybe we will get to take advantage of this for at least a little bit. Who knows? A lot of explosives they still have to lay. And I still need to get in here and have them, well, they need to put in this power shaft. Did I not put a power shaft right there? I did. I did not. I did. I did not. Okay. Get that in. This needs to be finished, and so does this. And the rest is just dynamite. I don't know if we'll be able to actually punch through. We might be able to pump out a little bit of water, maybe. But we're on the final day, and we have 2.3 tiles of water available to us. Okay. Whew. All right. All right. We're doing better. We're doing better than I thought we would be doing right now. We have people living up here. Why are you guys living up here? Why do we have so many beavers? Huh. Uh-huh. This is fine. All right, 0.8 days remaining. They got this in. That's not going to be pumping anything anytime soon because there's not enough material up here to be running that. They got that in. That's good. They're placing dynamite. 0.7 days remain to get this up and running. Yeah, this isn't going to happen, but we are prepared for the next temperate cycle. We'll be able to turn that on and have at least 5 days worth of water stored up in here from this one steam engine, because we'll probably spend a day getting material to it, which is fine. That meets the intent, I suppose. We're at 7.4k units of water, so that is good. That's almost 20 days worth of water for our beaver population as it stands thereabouts. Maybe we need to pump up those two right there. Not sure why they are slowly just now filling these guys up, but we're going to finish the last day at a 24-hour pace and pump out as much of this as we can. That's still at 0.95. We'll keep that at that height so they can continue to pump out what's left in there. Everything else is still filling in, cycling in down to here. And that is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. All right. We have survived for the most part. I think. Hopefully. All right. I'm going to pull the work hours back. And it's another 30-day drought. Okay. That's acceptable. We can survive off of that. So if we pause the aquifer itself, then they won't empty out the steam engine, is what I have learned. So we can do the same thing over here. That's fine right there. They can keep pumping that out. That'll get us maybe another 200-300 units of water, and these guys will pump this out to their hearts until their hearts are content pumping all of that out. They are slowly building these up for us. Do we have enough material to build all the rest of these? Probably not, but they are working on it, so that is a good thing for us. I cannot complain about that at all. Explosives are all in over here, so that is awesome. I would like to get these done over here before I blast all this out. And I would also like to know how that's coming along. They probably can't reach it, honestly, because that's one level. I don't know how they're doing that. Like, they're reaching through the walls. I don't think they're supposed to be able to do that. But I'm not going to complain about that at all. But we can go ahead and hit this explosion button right there. Probably get in there and clean that up just a little bit more if we wanted to. We are going to have to put in some sort of a staircase here and regain access to the side. And this does need to get ripped out, and we need to turn this into another sluice gate right here. And this will be close above contamination of 0.1%. So that will protect us from the bad tide when the bad tide does do the bad tide thing, which is good. And other things that we could do is probably come in here and start tearing out some of these staircases, or maybe even, I don't know. I don't know. don't know. That requires 400 horsepower. That pumps out 400 horsepower. You take another 400 horsepower. That would require 2. We can. Why not? Why not? We're already over here. Let's go ahead and fill this in. And let's put up a second engine. This is probably a tad bit excessive, but we have the capacity to do so. Why not take advantage of it? And since we are not in dire straits as far as water is concerned right now, because we are building everything up, we can unpause all of this, get all of our other systems back up and running. They are emptying that out right now as we speak. We're at 9.2K units of water. We have another 7,000 units of storage available to us now. It's going to go to 8,000 units available to us, and that means that these guys can continue to pump this completely out. And then we shouldn't have any issue theoretically ever again. I do need to pull you out because you are pulling, well, unnecessarily. Though, probably wasn't a reason to do that, but I did it anyway, so it's fine. Why can't we? Because there's a path right there. Remove that path. That means that we can put this back in here. It means we can reconnect this line right here. Then we can put in our fluid dumps here and here. Awesome. Still have 18,000 units of water available, water storage available to us. We should be able to pull that out and then some. But as it sits right now, we still have 21-ish days of water available to us with the capacity to go up to 40 days plus at our current beaver capacity, our current beaver population. Now, I think we can probably think about tearing these steam engines out because they are unnecessary. We do have the ability to continue to expand our large water wheel network down this way, and then we can even tackle this aquifer down here, maybe even rip it out. Can we rip it out? We can rip it out. Rip that out and run water this way, and then we'll have even more water to fill up our reservoir with. Which we're already down to our final 2 tiles, which is fine because we are intentionally draining it so we don't run into this issue again, hopefully. Theoretically. All right, you guys are all bored. You guys can go do anything else with your lives. Anything but not work here. I probably put in some hauling posts or something. Keep them entertained, but for now they are perfectly content. I guess the question that I have here is, does that connect? And allegedly that does connect. So that should work. Hopefully. They are very slowly building these sluice gates. And we do want to put in another aquifer right here. And if we want to blast some of this out just to make that life a little bit easier, we need some 3s right here. We want 2s right here, and we want 1s right here. And honestly, we could just hunt the bad water off that side or even back out here during the bad tides. There's no reason to not do that. We have the time, we have the capacity to do so. They haven't made it all the way through there yet. Probably because they can't reach. So, path, please? Please, thank you. Nope, they're just being very slow about it. Very methodical. To be fair, they are having to travel 5,000 miles to get over there to accomplish anything. So it's bound to happen. Which is fine. acceptable. That just needs them to slap that, and then they're just building the stairs system to get back up here. Which is going to take a hot minute. All right. Beautiful. We still have a tile and 3/4 remaining right there. We have a lot of beavers doing nothing with their lives. Maybe we can throw in a storage container over here for coffee somewhere, maybe? I don't know why not. Honestly, this is probably the worst place for this to go, but what else are we going to do with it? It's been sitting there at 60 and not being produced at a fast enough rate for a hot minute. So that's on me. That's 173 and that's 361. Maybe if we tighten this down a little bit, and we get water pushing over here a little bit more evenly, because that's 360, 360, 358, and this is just all 170. It is having to take a 90-degree turn right here and go this way. So it's not exactly the most optimal way to funnel the water. I don't know if funneling it down to a singular line would actually be beneficial or not, but we can. Maybe even just to a double. That would require us to also put that in right there. We'll have to plus this side up just so it doesn't continue to flow out and around. And maybe just be extra careful. We do something like that and like that. Still have beavers not in housing, which is not the best. So let's go ahead and plus up our housing a little bit. That means probably doing something along these lines. Ripping this out right here. Ripping this out. Did I need to do that? I don't know. Can I put this on top? I cannot put that on top. All right. So that goes right there. That goes right here. This goes double here. It doesn't need to go there. We can pull that down. Put a double right there. Put that right there. And then double here. Triple here. And then doubles here. And that just means that we rotate things like that. And there we go. And then we fill that in. We rip that out. We toss back in our beautiful little rooftop here. And that provides us the happiness bonus that we need for our beavers. And then we can get these guys out of this housing. This little row house over here. That's making their lives a little bit unnecessarily painful. Okay. We are out of scrap because this emptied out during our last cycle, which is not good. We do need to get up here and tackle some of this, and soon we'll have to think about getting into our mine over here, which is going to take a little bit of time, something that I'm not quite prepared to put our beavers into. But it is something for us to work towards. Question is, can they reach that? They can reach that. Let's go ahead and put this floodgate, or not floodgate, levee in right there. Is that making it any better? Maybe a little better? My voice is cracking. Oh, goodness gracious. All right, that's good. That's fine. We're turned off there. We still have another tile and a half of water left to go. We're at 12,000 or 10,000 units of water available to us. And still another 8,000 of storage left to go. We are filling it up slowly but surely. We should probably get these prioritized by haulers because right now that isn't going anywhere, and our main water pumpers are a little stuck right now because they don't have a place to put any of their water. So where can we put some more of our water? That can be a very good question that I don't have the answer to. Bum ba da bum 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 bum. Don't really have the metal blocks either to build any more of these, honestly. But we have some of them. There's an aquifer right there this whole time. Boo! There's an aquifer there that whole time. Why am I the dumb? I am the dumb, and I have done the dumb. Okay, you guys can just accept. Maybe that'll help out. Just hit obtain goods, I guess. Get storage area, and they'll come over here, hopefully, and pull the water out of these tanks and push them somewhere else. Oh no, we'll see. They are very slowly working on all this. I'm not entirely sure why it's taken them a year and a half to... Well, it might help if I had access to all the material readily available to them. That's all back here, and they have to run halfway across the world. This is all full right there. Yeah. Why is that green? But that's orange. I don't know. That's strange, actually. I don't know. I'm curious. Just finish that off. Why not? Why not? All right. Beaver population is still exploding, I'm noticing. So that's cool. That's really cool. Okay. Let's see here. Where are all of our builders at? Are they still running this gauntlet over here? They're still running this gauntlet over here. Yep. That's fine. That's fine. I'll allow that. They are putting all the dynamite in onesie twosie. Maybe I drop this priority-wise because it's not much of a priority to get this up and running. Right now, our main endeavor is just prepping for all of the other problems that we have. Well, not really problems, more like other things that I should be concerned with. Let's change you over to bad water. We'll hit that obtain button. We'll hit this on prioritize. We have poo water here and a permanent source at that. We can turn this poo water source on too. We don't have the metal blocks, but we've got the dynamite and the gears, so we could in theory turn this on in perpetuity as well, and take advantage of this as a source of energy. Maybe just have it punt off this side and then reclaim all of this real estate as additional water storage capacity as well. That's something that's definitely feasible. I'm down for that. I am definitely down for that. All right. I need you guys to focus on this. That is priority numero uno. And we can maybe throw in a couple of these bad water pumps. Just because it's there. Once we have metal blocks moving again, we can think about uncapping that bad water source, which I'm not opposed to doing. Water is not in the best of spots. We're on the final tile. We are pumping it out. These are emptying out slowly but surely, as I have requested by our haulers. So that means that these guys can work a bit more proactively than they had been in the past, which means we should be able to pump a little bit more of this out a bit more quickly. Now, we are going to be a little shy of 30 days worth of water right now, which is not the worst thing right now. The problem is we're going to have to turn these guys back on. This irrigated probably right now. Actually, if we pull this down, you can see that that is empty and not filling up the top of this. So we are going to need that, pumping all of the water into there. These guys are going to pump out what's remaining of these juices, and hopefully these guys will have this turned on, which they do, and we'll get this built. Too far from district cannot be reached. Because they can't, yeah, That's fine, you know, we'll flip this around. Now you can reach it. Then we grab this bad Johnny. We connect it up to there. We're gonna have to go about this another way. We are filling that in, so that is good. Probably going to have to do this one at a time, which is mildly annoying. That should be fine to do that. They'll get over there, they'll fill that in at their earliest convenience, and then we'll have 4 aquifers filling that in, which will be amazing. All right, we are up here now. That means that these 33 beavers can now turn into scavengers, which means we can fill all of these spots up with a bunch of these guys, and they can work on that until they're blue in the face, which I am good with. Now, that's scrap metal. This is scrap metal. That's supply. You are also supply. Did this help at all? No, I think it actually made it worse. Cool. That's a little bit better here, though. We're at 392. I think we were at 370 before. All right. Well, we consolidate all that down to the singular line. Maybe we'll get this a little bit higher. I'm curious to check something, actually. So does this actually... 391... Yeah, no, I don't think that would give me that data. I don't know. We're technically a little bit better than we were before, though, so I'm not going to complain too much. That is perfectly good enough for me, and I am happy to see that. Can we reach this now? Can't get all required materials. Waiting on metal blocks. Metal blocks are going to take a hot minute to produce. Yeah. All right. These guys have emptied this out. We still have 20 days of this drought left, and we have more than enough water, and we'll have more than enough bad tide and everything like that to keep everything up and running. And we still have a poop ton of beavers rocking and rolling about the cabin that I am not too concerned with where we're at right now. I'm actually pretty happy with where we're at. They got this built, so that's cool. Little spiral staircase action moving up and around the cabin, you know? That's beautiful. And yeah, still got some happy beavers. I still want to tear all this out. Move all of this storage up to over here probably. And connect all that storage up to this side. And I think that will be a good use of our time and energies and materials. We do have all the planks and all the gears available to us to actually effectuate that without too much of an issue. Theoretically. Anyway, theoretically we have that and have the capacity to do that. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Playing with Fire. I sure didn't, but it was interesting to say the least. And we are going to finish cleaning up the rest of this whole mess as I say goodbye to you. Thank you all for coming in today. Have a fantastic evening wherever you are in the world. Make sure you guys stay nice and stay nice and thirsty and keep rocking in the free world. We'll catch you on the next episode of I Don't Know What to Do with My Hands, and I can't believe it's still not butter, honestly. If you guys enjoyed this episode, please hit that like button. If you haven't already hit that subscribe button, I would appreciate that as well. We are encroaching on that mythical 1,000 number, and your support in that endeavor has been greatly appreciated. And I look forward to keeping this chain moving forward with all of y'all in tow. Thank you all again. Stay safe out there. Stay thirsty. Stay rocking in the free world. We'll catch you all in the next episode of hopefully no more emergency disasters. I'm out. See ya!